To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Welcome to the Talk About the Magic podcast, where you'll find inspiration and encouragement tied together with the magic of Disney. Now, here's your host, Joseph Ballesteros.
What is going on, Magic Cheers? Welcome to another edition of Talk About the Magic. A little different. Yeah. It's a little different because this was a weird episode. I didn't know exactly what to do. I'm actually still not kind of sure what to do. I'm just winging it here. So, first off, I want to thank every single one of you guys for listening to this podcast for the past years or day, depending when you started listening. I really do appreciate and am 100% grateful that you guys decided to spend this time with me every Sunday. It just, honestly, I just can't express how much that means to me. Saying this, it sounds like I'm quitting podcasting. I'm not quitting podcasting, but saying this is basically me kind of putting a change or just a different kind of look at what I'm doing. This podcast the main focus has been always to inspire and encourage you guys through the stories of others who are, pursuing their passions, their dreams. They're at a level that maybe you want to get to one day. And, by bringing them on here and sharing their stories, I'm hoping that it inspires and encourages you to, get up and start moving toward your own goals. And this podcast has pretty much every week in one way or another inspired me with the stories that I've heard here. For some of you guys who are new listeners, maybe you didn't hear, a couple weeks back, but I started getting into making shirt designs and creating that. And it started off okay. I have some local businesses here that I started helping and dealing with, but I kind of wanted to start branching out and actually kind of trying to make this into a real business, something that could really, help myself and my family and give us the kind of freedom that we seek. So, I started working toward it, and something kind of started becoming pretty obvious when I was doing this and getting ready to do this, which was basically I'm not able to give my time to everything. So this podcast does take time. I have to, research. You have to find a guest first, of course. But of course, I have to research on the guest. I have to reach out to the guest, do the questions, actually record the episode, depending what day they're available, and then, do the actual editing and everything and get it all up by Sunday. And it's a blast, but it does take a lot of time. And so I kind of came up to this fork in the road, which we've discussed plenty of times on the podcast, where I kind of had to make a decision, and there's always a safe decision, right? And the safe decision would be just to stay in my lane, stay where I'm at now. Everything's fine, not a big deal. I could be here, continue doing, my job like I'm doing, my 9-to-5 style job, and, just do the podcast like I've been doing. But, that's not necessarily something that I want for myself, and that's not something that I have set apart to achieve for myself. So, I kind of made the tough decision here to say, okay, I'm going to have to put something on the back burner. And is it going to be, until at least I can free up from my job, but is it going to be the podcast, or is it going to be me trying to pursue this personal goal of mine of creating a business? And so, after thought, confusion, frustration, depression, happiness, excited, encouraging, praying, all these things mixed together, I kind of just said, you know what? I need to give it a real try for doing the business. I think if I continue on and not give that a solid try, I think I will regret it. I believe I will regret it. There's so many things out there that aren't a big deal to miss out on. But I truly feel like if I was to miss out on this opportunity, I would really regret it. And regretting it when I'm 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, that's going to be a lot harder to deal with, obviously, than regretting it now. And that's why I said, you know what, it's better I regret right now, kind of changing the format of the podcast to free up the time that I need in order to focus on the business of the shirts, trying to get it up and going, than regret when I'm much older. What would have happened, if I would have followed my ideas and tried to do something with that? I get excited. We've had so many awesome people on this show. Like, just honestly, I mean, there's like at least 70 or 80, 100 something episodes with guests on them that are just sharing their story, and they're incredible. From real estate agents to podcast, people to shirt designers, Etsy creators and makers. I mean, there's just so many things that there's so many people that have somehow in one way impacted me, and I hope has impacted you. And I really think that you guys, like I said, can still learn from a lot of the shows that we've had if you haven't heard them. But I had to take a page from the book that they would speak to me from, which is follow this idea, follow this dream, follow this passion down a road and see where it takes you. And listen, the worst that happens is it doesn't take you anywhere, and you got to get back to where you were at, and that's not necessarily the worst. It's a lot better to go that route than to never take that road, and like I said, regret that you never took it, and see that, oh my gosh, look at where I could have been had I taken it. We've had people on the show where they've said, I imagine, what if I started 5 years earlier instead of when I actually started? Imagine where I could have been. And that's an amazing thing to think about, because you realize if I would have started this a year ago, I would have already gone through all of the traumas that I have to go through, the stresses that I have to go through to make it a more viable business. And where am I going to be a year from now? What if next year, cancel my life gets a lot more difficult? I don't want to confess that over my life, but yeah, what if it gets a lot more difficult where it's going to be harder for me to do a pursuit of a business? Right now I'm in a place that I'm able to do that. And so I had to really just sincerely think about it, get serious with it, and say, okay, this is something that I think I should do, I want to do, and I'm going to go for it. So saying all that, some changes of what's happening. So the podcast, as of now, will be taking a break. As you hear it, I should say, we'll be taking a break. Because like I said, I can't do it justice. I feel like I will be cheating you guys out, cheating the guests out of a proper show, just because I feel like I have to do it. So as of now, we'll be paused. But the podcasting will not be done. As you guys know, I just love to talk so much. So it will continue, but it will be a much more relaxed episodes. It will be much more Disney focused. We're going to talk about rumors. I'm really excited for some of the guests I already have lined up. Some of you guys probably already know them from being on the show in the past, or know them just from being, really big in the Disney community. And so it's just going to be much more laid back. Just talk about the magic. Forget about your worries, Hakuna Matata, as they say. But, just forget about the week and enjoy some magic in your ears, for 30 minutes to an hour. And we're just going to have fun. We're just going to talk about different Disney rumors, rides, facts. I also want to give a little snippet for my children and I to talk about the latest DuckTales episodes once they come up, because I'm beyond stoked for DuckTales, guys. I grew up on that show, and to now have it come back and be able to show my kids. And what's funny is my kids, of course, have never seen the DuckTales that I'm referring to. So it's going to be real fun to see them get this first aspect of DuckTales, thinking this is like the DuckTales. But I'm going to have to tell them, you know what, this isn't the real DuckTales. But, so, it's just going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it, and I really hope you guys are going to stick around. The podcast will stay the same, talk about the magic. As far as the publishing date, that may change, and that's why I'm bringing this up now. I wanted to keep it on Sunday, but honestly, I think it's going to change. It might be more of a midweek show, maybe on a Wednesday or a Thursday. But of course, the beauty of podcasts is even if it comes out, at 2 a.m. on a Thursday, you guys can always download it 5 weeks later. So you don't actually have to, be there when it goes live same day. But I'm just really excited for this new kind of venture that I am going into, this journey, I can't express really, guys, how much it means to me that you guys have lent me your ears all of these years, to share the stories of these awesome people we've had. I don't want to just personally thank names, because honestly it would take the whole show, because I have to thank every single guest who's ever come on. But obviously there's some people that really have kind of stood out in my mind, because they've, in one way or another gone the extra mile to talk with me and to stay in contact with me. And so, and have helped me personally. Like, that's the thing. They personally have helped me by giving me advice and helping me. So I want to, of course, thank Lou Mangello for helping me in all the things that he's done. I want to thank Serena from Living by Disney. She has been amazing. I want to thank, of course, and again, this isn't ending the podcast. I just want to recognize these people for the podcast, that have been on the show, and that way you guys can also go find them too and listen to the show and hopefully get some inspiration if you haven't heard it already. But Justin and Megan from Walt's Wardrobe, they've been amazing. I want to thank. It makes me laugh so much. But so many other people. Lisa has called me out on some of my grammar. She was on the very first show, but it's awesome for it because I made mistakes. So I was like, thank you, Lisa. There's some other people. Angela from Dizlights, Rebecca from Rebecca Lives at Disney. I also, it's really awesome. You guys know her. Trisha Dabb from Not So Evil Disney Stepmom has been awesome as well. Carrie, you can find her on Instagram, Carrie9678. And there's so many. Like, I honestly, I can't just I would have to name everybody, but so these people have really kind of gone out above and beyond to make sure that I'm, there, that they're helping me out. If I didn't mention you, it's not because I don't appreciate you guys. It's really is. It would take the whole show to mention everyone, because I truly do appreciate everybody who's been on the show. But I just, some of those people I had to give a special shout out because they have taken their time out to reach out and help me in my new venture and giving me advice on what to do. But guys, if you haven't heard previous shows, please be sure to check those out, like I said, because they're still there. They're not going anywhere, and they still have tons of value. And I really hope that y'all will continue to listen to the show. I'm working on a new intro and outro. It's going to be a new format, like I said, but a lot more relaxed. I feel it's going to be, I feel like the way I picture it, the way I could describe how I want the show to make you feel, which is funny because this isn't necessarily, well, you know what? Let's make it a Disney kind of analogy. I want you guys, when you listen to the show, to make you feel like if you are lying down in the hub grass in about 72, 68 degree Florida weather with a cool breeze and your favorite drink. You're holding your favorite drink, and you're just there listening and relaxing. That's the kind of magic I'm hoping to bring to your ears. I just kind of put a big expectation there. But I really hope you guys will enjoy the new thing. And like I said, I'm not saying this is going away forever. I definitely want to start this again, bringing guests back and everything as far as focusing on inspiration. But I will probably be doing that as soon as I get the business kind of more in a more consistent state where I'm able to have that free time to start looking for guests and really doing the research to get them on the show. But guys, please be sure to check out talkaboutthemagic.com. Don't lose contact with me. I'm not going anywhere. You'll find a bunch of updates on talkaboutthemagic.com. You can always follow me on Instagram at talkaboutthemagic, Twitter, talkthemagic, Facebook, talkaboutthemagic. Guys, I'm here, and I'd love to hear from you guys as well. So this was a different show. It was a short show, and I'm going to stop talking because I do have a problem of just rambling on. But I just ask you guys that you guys keep me in your thoughts and prayers and wish me luck or some pixie dust, I guess, as I take on this new adventure of starting this business here. And hopefully it can bring some, like I said, freedom that we've been looking for. So I hope you guys have a great 9-day weekend whenever you're listening to this. And as always, stay magical.
This was the Talk About the Magic podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and share with a friend. Thanks for listening, and as always, stay magical.